Family, so I've made several videos about people within our community who use black culture or who use black ideologies to receive a certain level of notoriety within our community. And I warned people before, this is very dangerous because a lot of times people use the platforms or they use their influence to really get attention from white people or get sympathy from white people. Now, a video came across my attention, second video came across my attention from the young brother, young Pharaoh. Now, this is not somebody that I follow. This is not, I don't sit down and watch popcorn and watch his YouTube videos and take notes and things like that. But someone sent me a video and they, say, hey, brother, check this out. And so I did that. And the video is basically of him talking about his probation officer who happens to be a white woman.
If I would have violated, they could have gave me the whole vibe. They could have said a whole new bit, and I could have went to jail longer for post-release supervision than what I went for in the sentence. And so this is why I tell people I have so much respect for my parole officer, because even though she's not black, my parole officer gave me a chance to just be a decent human being and live a good life. And the reason I'm bringing my parole officer up is because I would not have made it successfully through parole if it wasn't for my parole officer treating me like a decent human being and giving me a shot to better my life. And this is not a black person who gave me this shot. It was black people trying to lock me up because they was envious and jealous and haterish. And it was a white parole officer who gave me a chance to prove myself to be who I say I am. And for that, it would be disingenuous and dishonorable of me not to bring my PO up and speak highly of my parole officer in that manner. So she never hassled me for being intelligent black man. She never felt threatened by me. She never tried to be racist. You know what I'm saying? And I owe it to people like my parole officer for why I still have some kind of balance in me when I deal with people that are not black.
Now, what he said is very problematic in several different ways. Number one, it proves what Dr. Amos Wilson says about us not having white associates or having white friends, because what will happen is, we will begin to talk like we're for the betterment of black people, but we really are in an integrationist stance, right? And that's what this brother is on right here. I hate to say it. That may be your go-to guy for information, but that brother is definitely a multiculturalist. And we have to be very careful with that, because what happens is once you reach a certain level, you're not going to be able to do and say what needs to be done for the people. This is why I've always warned people, you cannot be pro-black and have white friends, because guess what? Then it's always going to be, well, what about Charlie? What about Kim? What about Bartholomew? He's real cool, right? So we got to be careful about those people who claim to be pro-black and who have these platforms and have these positions, and they have white friends and they have white associates. Now, obviously, we're in a world where sometimes we have to get access to certain things and certain people so we can do certain things, right? But the video gets worse.
And so this right here just makes me, burns my fire to change, the system, not just for blacks, but for people that's not black that work in the system, to not catch flack that they don't deserve to catch. And so, I just want to let people know I'm up and coming, man. I'm not, acting like I'm somebody I'm not. But I'm going to always remember who did right by me and who did wrong. And if I ever get into the position where, I have extra means, I'm going to definitely reach back and make sure people who did right by me, let them know I appreciate them, including my PO. So I'm going to just let y'all know, I don't know if it'll be, you never know, man. Things happen. You never know. It might be a month, 6 months, 6 years, who knows? But if I ever get to the point where I'm comfortable and I got some extra bread to throw, I'm not throwing no bread in no strip club. I'm gonna get on the phone. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. Find the people that did right by me and shoot them something, even if it's anonymous. They gonna know it's from me, but I'm gonna shoot them something, and I'm gonna make sure that they know I appreciate them. And so with that being said, I'm just letting y'all know so y'all not surprised and some years go by and y'all be talking about, oh, young Pharaoh says already, but you fucking right, I would send some bread to my PO. You goddamn right I would. And I don't give a fuck who feels some type of way about it.
Now, I am not under no belief or circumstances feel like that white people should not be compensated for doing their job. They should. That's why they get paid. That's why our tax dollars go to paying them. I am not paying or giving a white person any money for doing what the hell they're supposed to do. Your job is supposed to correct people who came out of institutional situations. Your job is supposed to rehabilitate people back into society. I am not paying you extra to do your job. If a cracker save a black person's life, why are we thanking them for it? You did your job. That's what your job is. We so used to these white people treating us like shit that when they do their job that they get paid for every day to do, we think it's something special. If you don't have a problem with what this young brother said and the way that this young brother thinks about the situation, then why are we so mad about what Lil Wayne said a few years ago?
At the age of 12 years old, I shot myself. I was in the house. Police knocked on the door. I was right there. They knocked the door down. Everybody jumped over my body to go get the guns and drugs and whatever they could find. It took one guy to stop right there and cuss everybody that hopped over me out. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? They said, oh, no, we was going to see if it... What the fuck are y'all doing? We called the ambulance. A fucking ambulance? Do you not see this kid on the floor with this hole in his chest? Say, you drive. Pick me up. Brought me to the hospital. He didn't drop me off at the ambulance and say, you take him. He brought me to the hospital room and made two and stood there and waited till the doctor said he's gonna make it. He said, don't worry, my name's Uncle Bob. He was white as snow. Them motherfuckers that hopped over me was blacker than me.
Was he a cop?
Yeah, he was a cop, and my life was saved by a white man. I don't know what racism is. I know a good motherfucker named Uncle Bob, though.
So the whole point of me making this video is not to bash the brother, is not to bring the brother down. It's to say we have to be careful, again, with people who talk black as if they have the best interest of African people in mind, but they only want to get closer to white people. They only want to get kudos for white people, right? I am not, again, and neither should you ever thank a white person for doing their goddamn job, okay? That shit is not happening. And this is why, another reason why we should separate ourselves first mentally from these Europeans and then physically from these Europeans. Because when you're around them, when they do, so-called the regular, when white people just do regular shit, we go out of our way to thank them. That's how brainwashed we are. And to me, that's a sign of weak leadership. If you ask me, that's a sign of weak leadership. Like, a white person can simply do their job and you would bend over backwards to thank them. We can't. That's not cool. We not there with that. We not doing that. But with that being said, man, that's all I have to say about the situation. Again, I would just say this: please be careful with who you share your energy with, who you choose to listen to, because everyone who speaks like they're black does not have the best interest of African people in mind. Until next time, family, think black, stay black, love black, support black, and that's real African black power.